All right. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go out to my shelf, and we're going to actually talk about this. So the shelf here, I'm sure if you've been playing with this, has a bunch of different tools and stuff. You can kind of mess around with it and use it for modeling. You can use it for rigging. Here's actually a rigging shelf you can use, as well as dynamics and other stuff. And so what we're going to be using is a what's called a Rig 101 wire controllers um, script. It's a script I've been using for well over a decade at this point. I got it from my graduate professor when I was in school, and so I'm passing it on to you guys. This is actually sitting in the module right now. This is a good way to just create kind of nice looking controllers. Though, to be fair, you can make controllers however you want. A controller at its core is really honestly just a NURBS primitive that's start off with like a circle or something, and like that can be a controller. Okay, so it doesn't have to be anything too crazy, but with this little script you can actually create things like triangles, squares, angles, crosses, fat crosses. You can do prisms, you can do arrows. You have all sorts of different shapes you can actually choose to work with in here. And so I actually really like this. You can get this in the module. Now, in order to use it, once you download it, what you'll need to do is actually go to your script editor, which is right here. And you'll go to File, Open Script. You'll go to your downloads, or wherever you downloaded it to. And so that's going to be actually, where did it download to? Let me find it real quick. There it is. So you can put this into your scripts folder actually. If you're on a PC, you're going to go to Documents, Maya 2020, Scripts, and you can actually just drop it in there. I've already got a version of this in here. And then you can look for it in that folder essentially. So Rig 101 wire controllers right there. Click open, and so you'll see right there it's open right here. Okay. Um, what you'll need to do after that is go to source. You'll need to just click it again and click open. Okay. So at this point, we'll need to go ahead and make a little button to put up on our shelf editor. Okay. Or our little shelf up here for the rig. It doesn't have to be the rigging shelf. It can be really any shelf you want. If you want to just make a new shelf, go right here, click new shelf, and you can make a new shelf. Um, you'll need to get the command, which is just this right here. It's Rig 101 wire controllers, semicolon, and you'll middle mouse drag it right up to the shelf. You'll see it pop up right there. When you click it, it'll open up the script. If you right click, you can go to edit, go to shelves. You can give it a new name if you want to. You can rename it. You can even change the color. You can change all sorts of stuff. If you have an image you can want to put with it, you can even do that. And then there you go. So you got it. So we'll go ahead and start using this. So the first thing we'll need is we're going to need to start making a few controllers, and we'll need to go ahead and start building up our ribbon. So with every rig that I do, I have basically a system of controllers that I end up using. We're going to be using, I'm going to go under char, and I'm going to click on the transform. Okay. So that is going to be basically the controller that I'm going to refer to as my world controller. Okay. So the world controller is going to move everything that's basically affecting the character or attached to the character. Okay. And then I'm going to do we can do a cog. We can scale it out. And I'm actually going to snap this up to the root. There you go. Okay, so that's going to be the root con. And then, so we have the world, we have the root. And then I'm going to do another one. Actually, I'm not going to use that one. Let's just do a circle. Okay, this is going to be called the placement con. Okay, so the placement con is going to go under the world con, and then you have the root con underneath that. So we need to actually go ahead, and once we've basically created these, I'm going to actually click on all three of them. I'm going to go to modify, and I'm going to click freeze transformations. Okay, remember what I taught about before about having clean transformations. So when you zero out a rig, it'll move back to its original position. That's what we're talking about. All right, world con, placement con, root con right here. Root con goes under the placement con. Placement con goes under the world con. Just like that. Helper arrows, I'm not going to mess with them. Don't worry about them. So we'll stick with that. Okay. We haven't actually attached anything yet, but we'll get there. I'm going to go to create NURBS primitives, and I'm actually going to go click on plane. Okay. So you'll see that plane right here. I'm going to make 3 ribbon spines. One for the main spine, one for the neck, and then one for the tail. So I'm going to take this right here. I'm going to basically bring it up 90 degrees. And I'm going to go and take this guy, and I'm going to stretch it out to where it's going to go from basically the root joint up to the top of the spine right there. Actually, let's flip it over. No, I didn't mean to do that. Let's flip it back over. There we go, like that. All right, I'm going to right click, do control vertices. And I'm actually going to go and grab the top row. Now, just be aware that if you do a marquee select, like just drag and select, you're going to end up selecting the joints. The joints actually have a higher selection priority than other objects. So anytime you select something that has a joint in it, it's going to default to that area. So I'm going to grab basically these vertexes or control vertices, and basically put them at the top of the top of this right here. And then this one right here, I'm going to move this back a little bit. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm just conforming this shape right here. That's all I'm doing. Okay. There you go. Doesn't really honestly matter how wide it is, but we just need this to conform to the shape. And then let's go ahead and create another one. Oh, I need a NURBS plane, not that. NURBS plane. Okay. Okay. And then we're just going to conform this to the shape. One thing you can do is hit B as in boy, and that'll actually turn on soft select. You'll see how it kind of like has this little radius, and they can kind of just very gently go in and kind of use it to kind of just very, very slightly affect the shape. But you really want to make sure that as you're playing around with this, you're getting it to actually fit the shape of that spine. There we go. That's pretty close. Okay. Let's do another one. NURBS plane. Okay. Control vertice, bring this one back a little bit, and turn off soft select. Okay, there we go. Go ahead and save it. I'm gonna do an iterative save. Okay. Next thing we need to do is rebuild the ribbons so that they have a constant, basically deformate or constant amount of vertices going down the surface. And we also want to increase the number of planes down the surface. So I'm going to go to rigging. I'm going to change it to modeling. I'm going to go to surfaces, and I'm going to go all the way down to rebuild. Okay. So we're going to keep it as a uniform rebuild. And then it's going to give us an option of number of spans for U and V. U is going to be across, V is going to be vertical. So we want one span for U. And then this really depends on like what you're doing, like how many, how much flexibility you want in the V. So let's say we want maybe six spans is going to give us basically places to put 6 joints. And so rule of thumb is you're going to want more spans than the number of joints you have already there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So, you know, you could do 6, you could do 8. The more you put in there, the more flexibility you're going to have, but also you're going to have to do more weight painting. So it's maybe a little bit more work. So, but you need to at least do a little bit more than what you have. So let's just do 8. Okay. Click apply, and you'll see it divides it into 8 spans. That's what we want. All right. So this one right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's change it to 12. Nice flexible back. This one right here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's do 20. Okay. And so with each one of these spans, we can attach a follicle to it. And a follicle can also host a joint. And so that joint's going to kind of ride along with the follicle and is going to twist and turn. And remember, that's going to be what actually gets a hold of the geometry. Okay. So that'll be useful. Okay. Let's go and start naming some of this. So I'm going to call this one tail NURBS, or actually tail ribbon. Spine ribbon. Neck ribbon. Okay. We'll do modify. Let's do edit. No, it's modify. I'm gonna do a freeze transformation on each one of these. And then I'm gonna grab all three and we're gonna do a delete history. Delete by type, history. So just cleaning these up. That already did a freeze on you. Okay, there we go. Again, just cleaning things up, keeping it organized. I'm gonna group these three together. Call it ribbons group. We'll do the world con, group it to itself, name it con group. And we're gonna go and make follicles for basically each of these. So I'm gonna go under effects. I'm gonna go to in hair, create in hair, and then open up those settings. So I'm actually just gonna change it over to NURBS curves. And it's gonna give you a count, U count, and a V count. So U count, we'll set it to 1. And then V count, I'm just gonna set it to the equal to the number of spans that are in here. So that was 20. And then click apply. There you go. So now we actually have a hair system that's on the tail. And the fun thing is if you hit play, it's actually dynamic. It has nothing to do with the ribbon spine, but it's just kind of fun. All right. Again, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I thought I had 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I did have 12. All right. 12. Click apply. And then this one was 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 8. 8. Okay. So I don't really need all of this, but it is kind of fun just to watch. So we actually don't need the hair systems. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go to hair system output curves, delete them, go to hair system, delete it, nucleus, delete it, and this is going to be basically all of the follicles that we just created. Under each one of these, you'll see where it says curve. That's just an old little piece of history. Just grab each one of those and delete them. Okay. All right. All right, go ahead and save it. All right. We need to go ahead and attach joints to each of these follicles. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to rigging. I don't need the hair system anymore. Let's go to, or the hair options. I'm going to go to skeleton, create joints. And let's go to, just going to create a joint right there. I was just jumping around, just trying to get it in the center. All right. So I'm going to call this spine follicle joint 1. Okay. So what'll happen is when I duplicate it, it will name itself. You'll see the name go up. So I need 12 of these. I'm going to do one more. That is going to be tail follicle joint 1. I'm going to hit delete or control. So I need 20. Hit control D a bunch. Okay. And then this is going to be neck follicle joint 1. And I think I need 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of joints right here. Okay. So let's do spine. So that's going to be my top spine. That's going to be my bottom spine. So I'm going to name them basically moving away from the numbering is going to be moving away from the root joint. So spine follicle joint 1 is going to go in the bottom follicle joint or bottom follicle of the ribbon spine that's closest to the root. Middle mouse drag this guy over to here. So if I move up, you should see it move up one more. There we go. Just middle mouse drag. Make sure it actually goes under it. There we go. Last one. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to go and grab each one of these joints. Just click on them, holding down Control as you click. And you'll see that we have a transformation under each one of these. I'm actually going to zero them out, and look what happens. They jump to the follicles, which is kind of cool. All right. Next, I want to do ribbon. Or the neck one right here, or actually, no, I think I have tail. Collapse all of this. I'm actually going to put all of this in a group. Spine, follicle, group. Okay. Tail follicle. That's going to be that one right there. Okay, so it's just going to be, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna grab all of these, group them, and let's call them tail follicle group. All right, and then we'll do the neck. Okay. Oh, I think I'm missing one. There we go. Oh, for some reason it didn't. It must have. Maybe I unparented accidentally. Okay, let me just redo this. Okay. That's going to be that one right there. So 19 needs to go right here. Okay. Okay, great. All right. And we'll zero these out in a second. Okay. So starting up here, follicle joint 1 needs to go here. 2 needs to go here. 3 needs to go there. There. Okay. Okay. Neck follicle group. Let's just double check, make sure everything's there. Make sure nothing came out of it. There we go. I think we're good. All right, I'm gonna grab all the joints. And zero them out. Should go up to the neck and to the tail. Fantastic. It's okay. If it's a little bit off, that's fine. Just needs to be close. Fantastic. All right, let's go and save and take a break.